guys, I, Aro Sadia, welcomes you to my YouTube channel AS Classes. I hope all of you are doing well. If you people like my videos, then please do like, share and subscribe my channel. And those who are new to my channel, please press the bell icon. So in today's class, we are going to start with our fourth chapter of Geography, class 6, named as Maps. But before starting this chapter, when we talk about geography, what does we study in geography? Geography is the study of Earth, and the things related to Earth are all the things that we study about Earth, things related to Earth we are going to study in a subject named as geography. When we talk about Earth, we should be aware of its shape. So what is the shape of Earth? Earth is geoid in shape. And there is a term called as globe, which we have studied. What is a globe? Globe is a true miniature model of Earth. It gives us a view how does Earth looks like. You have seen globe in your principal office, in labs. It consists of the lines called as latitudes and longitudes. On globe you can see the world, continents, states, countries, everything you can see over a globe. Now this is a globe, and globe consists of two types of line, that are latitudes and longitudes. When we talk about latitudes, total latitudes are 181, we have discussed. But we have to study the important ones. So Arctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, Equator, Tropic of Capricorn, Antarctic Circle. Okay, what does equator does? Divides the northern hemisphere from the southern hemisphere. When we talk about longitudes, latitudes are the horizontal lines, whereas longitudes are the vertical lines. The line dividing the longitudes are regarded as a prime meridian. It is of 0 degree. This is west, this is east, and this is 180 degree here, 180 here, 180 here. So total number of longitudes are 360. Now prime meridian, just beside the prime meridian, because of its shape we are not able to see, there is a blue colored line which is regarded as international date line. When you move from here to here, the date changes. If there is 14, here it becomes 15. It's a international date line. I hope it is clear now what is the shape of Earth. It is geoid in shape. What is globe? Globe is a true miniature model of Earth. All of us have seen globe. Globe consists of two types of lines, that are longitudes and latitudes. Latitudes are the horizontal lines, whereas longitudes are the vertical lines. Now, to study Earth on this globe is very difficult and complicated. As on globe, you can see India very minutely. You cannot study the states of India, the particular features of each and every state on this globe. It becomes very complicated. So for making our study easier, we have to study the country, the world, the states, the villages, the towns. We start using maps, which are the 2D figures. Maps are the drawings or the representation of the Earth on a piece of paper or on a flat surface. For our better understanding, you must have seen the map of India, the map of the world. Okay, so that our study becomes easier. To study about Earth on this globe is quite difficult and complicated. So for making our study easier, we start using maps, which is our chapter today, maps. Now we are going to study about maps. After studying about globe, now we are going to start with our topic, maps. What is a map? A representation or a drawing of the Earth surface. What is map? A representation or the drawing of the Earth surface or a part of it drawn on a flat surface or a piece of paper according to a scale. A scale is very important in a map. Without a scale, a map can't be drawn because it reduces the many miles of distances into a smaller one to bring that surface of Earth on a piece of paper. Now, map provide more information Definitely maps provide more information as compared to the globe, because on globe you can see the countries, states, continents, oceans, but on a map you can study about each country, each continent, each state, features of these states in details. So there are of three types of maps, popularly known as a physical map, political map and thematic map. When we talk about a physical map, a map showing natural features, a map that shows a natural features such as mountains, plains, plateaus, rivers, etc. are called as a physical or a relief map. On a map, when you see a river map, plain map, a mountain map, then it is regarded as a physical map. When we talk about a political map showing the cities, towns, villages and different countries and states of the world with their boundaries are called as a political map. When you can see a country, state on a map, then it is regarded as a political map. When we talk about the thematic maps, they are the different types of maps as compared to these physical and political maps. These are the maps which were based on a particular theme. Okay, information such as specific information such as road maps, rainfall maps, maps showing distribution of forests, industries, etc. are known as a thematic map. It is clear now what is a map. Map is a representation or redrawing of the earth's surface on a flat surface. Is called as map. Map provide more information as compared to the globe. Map are of three types: physical map, political map and thematic maps. We have discussed about maps. Types of maps, we have discussed three types of maps: physical map, political map and thematic map. Now I am going to show you map of India, that is physical map of India and political map of India, for your better understanding. As you guys can see, this is the political map of India, and we have studied that. In a political map, we study about the states, its neighboring countries. We can study everything about the state in detail, and this is the political map of India. And when you see this map, it is the physical map of India. In this, you can study about the physical features of India such as mountains, plateaus, everything you can study over here in detail. In this map, you can see a scale without which a map can't be made. The longest distance can be reduced in a shortest form so that the map can be drawn. That is known as a scale. After that, here you can see certain symbols which are used in the maps. Different symbols are used in maps. I hope it is clear now what is physical map, what is political map, and I have shown you the political and the physical map of India. Read about both globe and map. If I ask you to differentiate between globe and map, I hope you can do it. So let's have a look. Globe and maps. Globe. A globe is a three-dimensional sphere and a map is a two-dimensional structure. Globe is a three-dimensional sphere, a true representation of the earth. It is a 3D figure, whereas map is a two-dimensional structure which gives us the information about the earth on a flattened surface. Now, it represents the whole earth. Obviously, globe represents the whole earth. It represents the whole earth or a part of it separately on a map. It can be used to get a broad level picture of the world. Obviously, you can see everything on a globe. It is a spherical in shape. You can see it. Now, maps provide more specific information about different places. As we have studied about three different types of maps: political map, physical map and thematic map. All these three types of maps gives you specific information like the towns, cities, physical features such as plains, mountains, rivers, oceans, and thematic maps gives you information about the rainfall, road maps. All these things, more informations are provided to us by maps as compared to that of globe. Components of maps. Now, after discussing about what is map, types of map: political map, physical map, thematic map. I have also shown you the political and the physical map of India. After all this, now we are going to discuss about the components of the maps. Map consists of three components. First component of map is distance. Second one is direction, and third one is symbol. Distance can be measured in a scale. As I told you, a map cannot be drawn without a scale. And this scale we are going to discuss in detail in this distance. After distance, directions. We are going to discuss about directions. As we know that there are four cardinal directions: north, south, west and east. This we are going to discuss in direction. And the third one is symbols. I have shown you in the map there are several symbols which show river, railway station, everything through the symbols can be shown. Metallic roads, non-metallic roads. We are going to discuss about symbols in detail. All these three components of the map, now we are going to discuss them in detail. First component of map is distance. Maps are drawn to reduce scale. As I told you earlier, maps can't be drawn without scales, and these maps are drawn to reduce scales. But this reduction is done very carefully so that the actual distance between the place appears to be real. The distance doesn't change. It can only be possible when a small distance on a paper represents a large distance on the ground. This can only be possible when the large distance on the ground can be shown as a small distance on the paper. Like if I give you example, like the state in which we live is Rajasthan. Total area of Rajasthan 342,239 kilometers. But on the map of Rajasthan, we doesn't represent that total actual area. That total actual area is reduced so that it can be presented on map and we can study the different districts that are present in Rajasthan. So the scales are of two types: small scale and large scale. When we talk about small scale, before this we have to understand what is a scale. It is a ratio between the actual distance on the ground and the distance shown on the map. What is a scale? A ratio between the actual distance on the ground and the distance that we used to show on the map. Then these scales are of two types: small scale and large scale. When we talk about small scales, when large area like, obviously continent is a bigger area, country is a bigger area shown on the paper, then we use a small scale map in which 5 centimeter on the ground map shows 500 kilometers on the ground. Okay, 5 centimeters on the map shows 500 kilometer distance on the ground. That are called as small maps. And large maps, when a small area like your village, town is shown on the paper, then we use a large area map. Large area map is used when we show our city, town on the map. And in this, 5 centimeter on the map shows 500 meters on the ground, and they are called as large scale. I hope it is clear now. Our first component, distance. Distance, maps are drawn to reduce scales. Scale is very important. Now, when we talk about scale, it is a ratio between the actual distance on the ground and the distance shown on the map. Then scales are of two types: small scale and large scale. It is clear now. The first component, that is distance. Second component of map, direction. There are 4 major directions, as all of us know: north, south, west and east are called cardinal directions. These 4 directions, north, south, west, east, are called as cardinal directions. And other 4 intermediate directions, which I represent from blue. Okay, now this is west north, northeast, southeast, west south. These are the 4 intermediate directions. It is clear now, I hope. 4 directions that are cardinal direction: north, south, west, east, and intermediate: west north, west south, southeast, northeast. After that, we have heard about the term compass. Why compass is used? To find out the direction. The magnetic needle of the compass always show north and south direction. Compass is used to find out direction. So let's talk about compass. An instrument used to find out main direction. Its magnetic needle always point towards north and south direction. I hope it is clear now. The second component of map, we are done with distance and directions. Components of map. Third, last, symbols. Symbols. It is a third important component of map. Symbols are used. Symbols are the third most important component of map after distance and directions. In symbols, we came across the symbols such as trees, rivers, road bridges, railway lines, etc. They are shown by using certain letters, colors, pictures, lines. All these things can be used as a symbol. Now, conventional symbols. These symbols gives us a lot of information. Through symbols, we get lot of information in a limited space. With the use of these symbols, maps can be drawn easily and simple to read. When we use these symbols, map become very easy to be read. Now, maps have universal languages. Maps have universal language that can be understood by all. Whether you speak that language or not, but you can study the map of that particular place by the use of these symbols. Now, there is an international agreement regarding the use of these symbols. There is an international agreement regarding that the use of these conventional symbols, and they are called as conventional symbols. There is an international agreement done that these symbols can be used so that it becomes easy for each and every one of us to read the maps of the places whose language is not known to us. These symbols makes maps easy to read. Symbols. Now when you see symbols, the trees, grass, these are donated by these symbols. When we talk about settlement and graveyard, this and this. River, tank, canal, bridge, all of them, these are the symbols which are used on maps to donate these places. Boundaries are of three types: international, state and district. They are donated by these lines. Roads are of two types: metallic, non-metallic, donated by these lines. Now temple, church, mosque and chhatris, all are these the symbols which are used in map for making our study of the map easy. It is clear now what is symbols. Symbols are used for making our study of map easy. And in the conventional symbols, there is an international agreement which states the use of these symbols so that the map should have a universal language that can be understood by all. That's all for components of maps. Now, after discussing about the maps, the components of maps, which are distance, direction and symbols, now we are going to discuss two more important terms which are related to maps only. First is sketch. What is a sketch? A sketch is a drawing mainly based on your memory. A sketch is a drawing mainly based on your memory and spot observation. Like if you have noticed something and you have drawn it, this is regarded as a sketch based on your memory and spot observation, and not to scales. Sketch doesn't have any scale, whereas maps required scales. Without scale, a map cannot be drawn. Sometimes a rough drawing is required of an area. A rough drawing of an area is required to tell where a particular place is located with respect to the another place. Sometimes it happens that we require a rough sketch or a location so that we can reach one place. Okay, a rough drawing is drawn without scale and it is called as a sketch map. If somebody asks you what is a sketch map is a rough drawing that is drawn based on your memory and spot observation without any scale is regarded as a sketch. Now the next one is a plan. What is a plan? It is a drawing of a small area on a large scale. Drawing of a small area on a large scale. Large scale maps, we know that can be drawn of cities and towns. A large scale map gives a lot of information, but there are certain things which we may sometimes want to know. For example, if we want to know about the length and the breadth of the room, like there are many things we wanted to know. If we wanted to know the length and the breadth of this room, that can't be drawn on a map. So for that, can't be shown on a map. At that time, we can refer drawing drawn to scale called plans. At that point of time, we draw drawings that consist of scales and they are called as plans. What are plans? The drawings that consist of scales are called as plan. I hope it is clear now what is a sketch and what is a plan. Sketch doesn't have any scale and they are the drawings, rough drawing that are basically based on your memory and spot observation. Whereas plan is a drawing with a scale. I hope it is clear now. Now with this we are done with our chapter named as map. In this chapter we have discussed about globe, latitudes, longitudes, what is map, type of maps, that is political map, physical map, thematic map in detail. After that, components of maps, which are distance, direction and symbols. We have discussed all of them in detail. After that, we are left with only two important terms, which are sketch and plan. We have also discussed them. Now we are done with this chapter. We are going to start with its exercise. Exercise. Answer the following questions briefly. Question number 1. What are the three components of Earth? We have discussed it in detail. The three components of map are distance, direction and symbols. In distance, we have discussed about scales. Scales are of two types, large scale and small scale. In direction, we have discussed about the 4 cardinal directions and 4 intermediate directions. After that, symbols. In symbols, we have discussed about conventional symbols. And these are the universal maps are universally formed so that it can be studied by one and all. What are the 4 cardinal directions? North, south, west and east. This is the direction. North, south, west, east. And these are your intermediate directions. Okay, what do you mean by the term the scale of the map? The ratio between the actual distance on the ground and the distance shown on the map is regarded as the term the scale of the map. And the scale of the map are of two types, large scale and small scales. Small scales are used for making maps of countries and continents, whereas large scale cities and towns. How are maps more useful than globes? This we have discussed earlier also. How are maps more useful than globes? Map provide more information as compared to the globe. Now, in globe study, the entire earth is very complicated. So that for that purpose, maps are used. A globe can be useful when we want to study the earth as the whole. Whereas, but when we want to study only a part of the earth, as about a country or a state, globe is of little help. As I told you, when you want to study about your country, India, on globe, it is little complicated. But when you study India on a map, it becomes quite easier. In such a situation, only maps are useful. When such condition arises, when you study about your state, country, continent, it is better that you can study it on maps as compared to the globes. But when you study earth as a whole, when you see earth, so you can look at a globe. Now, difference between a map and a plan. Map. We can study a part or the whole of the earth with the help of map. As all of us know, a plan is a detailed drawing of a small area. Small area means country or a continent. Now, a map contains a lot of information, whereas in this, symbols are used. Informations or details in a plan are given in the form of symbols. A map show only the very important features of the area. They only show very important features which are prevalent at that period of time or at that place. And plan can show the length and the breadth of the place. They can also show the length or the breadth, whereas maps can't. F. Which map provide detailed information? Large scale maps are the maps which provide detailed information because of the availability of more space. They can depict more information. Large scale maps are drawn on glass size paper. These maps are very large size and they have more space to depict more information. How do symbols help in reading maps? Symbols, we have studied that symbols helps in reading the map universally. So these symbols are the feature in true form. Language does not put any problem in understanding the features. As we have studied that through symbols, map can be studied throughout the world. irrespective of the language barrier. Okay, so even the less educated people can understand the information easily with the use of symbols. The people who are not educated or less educated can also understand the map, what they are trying to say. As we have studied the symbol of water bodies like tank, canals, bridges. Then we have studied the symbols of trees. Okay, all these symbols, by seeing those symbols they can identify that there is something like a water body over there, like church, mosque, temple over there. All these things can be understood by the use of these symbols. Now take the correct answer. Map showing distribution of forest. Physical map, thematic map, or political map. Obviously thematic map, because they are based on certain themes like rainfall map. Okay, the blue color is used for showing obviously water bodies. Mountains or plains, water bodies. A compass is used to show symbols to find main direction or to measure distance, to find main direction. A scale is necessary for a map, for a sketch, or for symbols for a map. That's all for our chapter map. We are done with this explanation, its exercise. I hope all of you understood what I taught you today. We started off our chapter with the explanation of globe. What is globe? Shape of earth, latitudes, longitudes. Then we studied about what is map, types of map. There are 3 types of map: political map, physical map, and thematic map. Then we studied about the components of the map, which are distance, direction, and symbols. Then we studied them in detail, and I hope it is clear now what are maps and how they are useful to us for studying about the earth in comparison to globe. If you people like my video, then please do like, share, and subscribe my channel. Please do subscribe it. Thank you for watching.